For decades, Hollywood sold dreams, glamour, red carpets, gold statues. But behind that shimmering curtain stood a man who decided who would rise and who would vanish. This isn't the story of an artist. It's the case file of a Hollywood mogul turned convicted criminal, a man whose name became a hashtag for an entire movement. This is The Mogul's Debt, Harvey Weinstein's Century of Silence. You're watching DuskVeil, where power meets consequence and truth hides in the dark. Every week, we uncover real stories of crime, corruption, and the shadows behind the spotlight. If you believe that every empire leaves a trail, you're in the right place. Now, let's begin. At his height, Harvey Weinstein wasn't just a producer. He was Hollywood's gatekeeper. He co-founded Miramax and the Weinstein Company, collecting Oscars, influencing careers, and reshaping cinema. But the same power that built legends was also a weapon. Behind closed doors, allegations grew into a pattern of fear and silence. For some, success came with a price: silence. For others, refusal meant exile. For years, rumors swirled, hidden behind non-disclosure agreements and legal threats. The industry whispered, but no one spoke. Until 2017. In October 2017, the New York Times and the New Yorker published investigations exposing decades of sexual abuse and harassment by Weinstein. The Me Too movement erupted, a reckoning that reshaped Hollywood and echoed across the world. The cases that followed weren't rumors. They were proven in court. In 2020, a New York jury found Harvey Weinstein guilty of criminal sexual act in the first degree against Miriam Haley and rape in the third degree against Jessica Mann. 2 women, 2 verdicts, and the fall of a man once untouchable. While serving his sentence in New York, Weinstein was extradited to Los Angeles to face more charges. In 2022, another jury found him guilty of rape and sexual assault against Jane Doe 1, an Italian actress assaulted in a Beverly Hills hotel in 2013. By the end of 2022, Harvey Weinstein was a convicted felon in 2 states. The man who once decided the fate of films was now the subject of one. When truth finally left the shadows, it didn't walk. It charged into the courtroom. The headlines became evidence. The rumors became testimony. And the man who once controlled Hollywood's stage now faced his own spotlight. In October 2017, the New York Times and the New Yorker published investigations exposing decades of abuse, intimidation, and silence. The reports ignited a movement, #MeToo, and shattered Hollywood's illusion of safety. By May 2018, Harvey Weinstein surrendered to the NYPD. Cameras flashed as the once invincible producer walked into custody. In March 2020, a New York court sentenced him to 23 years in state prison after convictions for criminal sexual act in the first degree and rape in the third degree. For survivors like Miriam Haley and Jessica Mann, justice had finally spoken, but only in whispers. In July 2021, Weinstein was extradited to Los Angeles to face a new wave of charges involving 5 women. Among them, Jane Doe 1, an Italian actress and model, testified that she was assaulted in a Beverly Hills hotel in 2013. On December 19, 2022, the jury found Weinstein guilty of rape and sexual assault. By February 2023, he was sentenced to 16 additional years, served consecutively to his New York term, bringing his total to 39 years behind bars. The court called it accountability. His lawyers called it persecution. April 25, 2024, a twist in the story. New York's highest court overturned Weinstein's 2020 conviction, citing a judicial error. testimony from witnesses whose allegations weren't part of the official charges. The ruling didn't declare him innocent, only that his trial was flawed. He remained incarcerated, held by the binding California sentence. By April 2025, prosecutors announced a retrial. Victims like Miriam Haley returned to court, forced once again. More to relive their trauma. June 2025, the new verdict. A mixed decision, guilty of a felony sex crime against Haley, while the jury hung on the charge involving Jessica Mann. Another conviction, another sentence, another reminder that justice, though delayed, still endures. The man who once bought silence now listens to verdicts he cannot rewrite. Justice moves slowly, especially when the accused can afford to fight forever. After his first conviction, Weinstein's legal team filed appeal after appeal, each one clawing for daylight through procedural cracks. But the facts remained unmoved. He is a convicted felon, serving a combined 39-year sentence, split between New York and California. His empire has crumbled, his name erased from credits once gilded in gold. He continues to deny every charge. Faint echo of a judge's gavel and muffled courtroom voices. But for his victims, justice wasn't a headline. It was a sentence they'd waited decades to hear. Harvey Weinstein's downfall became a turning point in American culture. It wasn't just about one man's crimes. It was about the system that enabled him. Hollywood's red carpet hid a network of agents, lawyers, and executives who looked away for decades. The Me Too movement forced the world to see that power and predation often share the same stage. Yet the cost was immense. Reputations shattered. Survivors relived trauma in courtrooms and on camera. But in the silence that followed, one truth remains. No empire, no matter how glittering, is immune to collapse. For decades, Harvey Weinstein used fear as currency and silence as his shield. When that shield finally broke, the debt came due. Not to the industry, not to the press, but to justice. Today, his name stands as a warning, a lesson etched into Hollywood's history in cold, black ink. And for every victim who spoke, every whistleblower who risked it all, there's a truth that echoes in every studio, every boardroom, every corner of power. Silence was the weapon, but truth was the end of him. This was the mogul's debt, Harvey Weinstein's century of silence. From DuskVeil, the darkness behind the spotlight.